Hello, everyone. Hi there. Welcome to this session on data analytics using Microsoft Excel. This is the 10th day in the training program. So anybody who's joining for the first time, who hasn't gone through the previous videos, please do start from day one. It will help you understand the flow well. So let's get started with today's topics without much delay there. Yesterday we had discussed about the get pivot data feature that is available, through which we can fetch the data that is necessary from a pivot table, and we can use it, for whatever purpose. Then we talked about creating calculated fields depending on a requirement. We can do this. We also talked about using the inbuilt calculations which are present in Excel, which can be accessed using the show data as option. Under this, we had looked at computing percentages, percent of column total, percent of row total, or percent of the grand total. Then computing the difference with respect to a specific value or difference with respect to the previous value. And similarly, difference with respect to the next value also can be computed. On similar lines, we can also get the percent difference. So we will continue with the same today. Look at a few more options that are there. Few more inbuilt calculations which are available. Then we will talk about slicers, timeline filter, and then we will start with some basic charts that can be created in Excel. Okay, so that is the agenda for today. Now let me open the copy chain data that we use. We've been using this data for the past 3 days now. Okay, same data I'm using. This is our data. We know how it is organized and all. Now I will simply go ahead and change the data type of my date field to date, because later when I use the date filter, I would want it to behave properly and not, detect. If we don't assign the date as a data type, it might not detect the date field appropriately sometimes. Okay, sometimes it does, but to be on safe side, it is better that if we have a date field, we assign the date as a data type. Okay. So this is our data, which is just a range of values. So as we always do, first I'm converting it into a table. Okay, my table has headers option is selected, and I'm going to give a name to this table over here. Coffee chain. Okay, let's say I want to use this kind of a structure. So my data is ready. Now I will go ahead and create a pivot table with this information by clicking on this option on the table contextual ribbon, summarize with pivot table. So this is the range. Okay, I think it didn't take the name of the table. Anyway, okay, it's table 1, and I want the pivot table in a new worksheet. Okay. We can give a name to the table, pivot table also over here, which is what will appear here in the header. Now let me do a little bit of formatting, as we always do, to increase the overall size of the sheet and the columns. Okay, now I will create a pivot table using the date field. Okay, so let's focus on getting the year over year difference kind of a thing. So I'm going to keep date in the rows shelf. And we know that when we use date field, it will not show us the exact date as is, but it will roll up the date and store the dates as a hierarchy. So year can be drilled down to get quarters. Quarter is drilled down to see the exact dates in there. Okay, now I would like to slightly reorganize this data. So I am going to take quarters to the columns shelf. Now you can see how it's getting adjusted accordingly over here, right? We have years coming up as rows, and we have quarters coming up as columns because of the way they've been arranged. Now I'm not interested in seeing the grand totals here. So what I'll do is go up to the design ribbon, and I will just turn off the grand totals for rows and columns. I'm happy with this kind of a structure and with this much information that is there. Okay, now let me put some values, data values into that. In here, let's say the sales data into the values shelf. Every time this somehow goes away. Okay. So now I want to show these numbers as a difference from the prior value. Okay. So from this quarter to this quarter, what has been the improvement in the sales? And I would like to show that as a percentage. From here to here, what has been the improvement in sales? And I want that as a percentage. So if we have to see the percent increase, basically year over year increase. From this year to this year, what is the increase? Okay, quarter wise. From this year to this year, what is the increase? How to do that? We can right click in any of the cells, go to show values as option, and then from here, these are the calculations which are available, and we need percent difference. So I'll have to go to more options down here. When I select more options, it will open the window from where I can apply the formula. So I'll have to first select this option, show data as, and then I will say I want to get the percent difference. Okay, and that should be at year level. So I need the difference of the year compared to the previous year. Year compared to the previous year. Now, once I do this, you can notice how the percentages are computed and displayed, isn't it? So from here to here, the percent improvement in the sales, the year over year growth is 8.31%. From here to here, the year over year growth is 1.53%. And here to here, the year over year growth is 1.45. Suppose I remove quarters, it is just showing the year over year growth. Okay. So whatever was the sales made in 2012, in 2013, there was a 4% improvement in that value. Oh, okay. I hope you're getting. There was a 4% improvement in that value. So it depends on how you design the structure. I'll just undo the last step, bring back quarters. So in each quarter, how much improvement was seen is also being displayed. Okay. Now let's say I want this difference with respect to the prior quarter, not like this vertically down, but how much, what is the improvement in the sales in quarter 2 compared to quarter 1 of the same year? Okay. How is quarter 3 doing with respect to quarter 2? How is quarter 4 doing with respect to quarter 3? Okay. If you have to compare the performance of one quarter with the prior quarter of quarter 3 with quarter 2, of quarter 2 with quarter 1. And for quarter 1, there is nothing to compare it against, right? So that will be blank. How to do this? Now I will simply go there to my show values as option, which comes up upon doing a right click. Okay. You right click in the cell and you will get an option called as show values as on the context menu. And if you see when you hover there, another menu will pop up. Now I will go to more options, and this time, whatever percent difference from I have applied, I'm going to edit it. I will say, I want it at quarter level. Okay, I want the difference to be computed and expressed as a percentage at quarter level of detail and with respect to the previous quarter. Okay, Avinash, is it better now? Let's see. Let me know if there is still any disturbance, okay, in a while. All right, this is at quarter level, and with respect to the previous quarter, I'm doing it. Okay, so once we do this, what will happen? It is comparing the performance of one quarter with the prior quarter. Where there is nothing to compare Q1 again, so that remains blank. But compared to Q1, Q2 has seen an improvement in the sales by 6%. Compared to quarter 2, quarter 3 has seen an improvement in sales by 3.4%. And compared to this, Q4 has seen a decline in the sales by 6%. Okay, now let me do one thing. I will show the actual sales also. So I'm going to bring sales again down here into values. And you will see a new field values coming up in the columns shelf because we are looking at multiple values here, right? What do we have as the first member? Quarter. So we have quarter 1. What is the next member under quarter 1? Values. What are those values? One is sum of sales, the other is sum of sales 2. Okay. So quarter, under that values. So you can see quarter, under that you can see both the values. Sum of sales and sum of sales 2. Okay. Now what I will do is move these values down here. So when I bring it to rows, what will happen? Those values which happen to be sum of sales and sales too, they are coming as rows. Now let's rename this to actual sales, and I will rename this to percent difference, or it is simply quarter over quarter growth that we are showing. Okay, quarter over quarter growth. Now I think it is more meaningful, right? So you can see the sales in quarter one is 95,000. Here it is 101K. There's an improvement by 6%. From 101K, it increased to 105K. The increase in terms of percentage is 3.46. From here to here, there's a decrease in the sales by 6.7%. Okay, so we can see how it has behaved in 2013. Whether it has improved quarter over quarter growth can be seen in these cells over here. Okay, so that is how you will get year over year growth or quarter over quarter growth with respect to the data that you define. It depends on the structure of the chart, depends on how you are doing it. Here I'm doing it with respect to the previous quarter. You can also do it with respect to the previous year and get the information. Okay, I hope it is clear.